Welcome to Richie Bellows webinar, Inventory Turn Done Better. Hi, I'm Brandon Hardison, Director of Sales Training with Jim Ellis Automotive Group, the largest automotive group in the entire Atlanta metro area, with 22 dealerships representing 17 iconic manufacturers. I'm glad to be here today because Richie Bello and myself, we're going to take you through a simple assessment process that will identify your dealership strengths and weaknesses, if any, that can be addressed continuously anytime you, the manager, takes off that manager's hat and puts the coach's hat on. So, with that said, let's meet the man. Welcome, Richie. Talk to us.
Brandon, thank you so much. Brandon, it's always a pleasure, but I wanted to say something. When I first met you, I was shy. I didn't want to go on camera. It was crazy. You showed me how to speak. My vocabulary is not the best. My first language is Spanish, but you really taught me a lot in my life. You've become my life coach, my everything, but you've also become my business coach. You've always coaching me and having that other brain there. I feel comfortable. It doesn't matter what I'm developing. I'm able to talk to you about it. So I'm grateful for you, Brandon, and I'm grateful that every time I need something, you're always there. You're one of the most loyal people that I've met. So that being said, Brandon, let's talk about this VIN retention report.
Okay.
So let's identify and let's break it down. What is the VIN retention report? Okay. Shop Smart Autos and Richie Bello have a VIN retention report. What does that mean to me? How do I make money with data, right? Let's identify it, break it down, and figure out what you can use and how you can improve what Brandon always says. It's about people, process, and product, okay? That's where his champion strategy says people, process, and product. Over a decade when I met Brandon, he explained stuff to me, and that kept in my head. And that's what this is about. So the product is the VIN retention report, right? So let's identify it. I'm a general manager today. Everything is data today, where we've become process driven and data driven, right?
Yes.
What does that do in the training world? Brandon, there's something called motivation. What happens when your motivation breaks down? And why does it break down, motivation? Because you think of something, it doesn't come out the way you want to, and now your motivation drops. So the bullet, how you'll have tremendous motivation forever, is with what? How is that fixed? Okay. The whole thing is you need discipline. Without discipline, you can have the best motivation. It breaks down. Discipline and motivation are together, right? So now the VIN retention, I run a report on it every month. How many customers did I retain? How many customers did I lose? And how many customers did I lose private seller? That tells me what my retention really is. So let's talk about a full report tells you I lost to so many dealers my VIN retention. What does that do? I lost these deals. Well, vehicles in operation. That's what it hurt. That's where you're hurting. Okay. Now, how and what solution is there to fix it? Well, let's jump back now to the side of private sellers. And let's talk about one of the best trainers in fixed ops that I have ever seen. His name is John Fairchild. What makes him different. That he is data driven, process driven. Okay. And what does he have? He has great motivation, but he's got that thing there happening in his life, that discipline. So now it's the whole package. He sees that, and the dealer tells him, John Fairchild, how do we make money with this? Oh, we got to find out that VIN that says we lost to the private seller, who's driving that car. Well, today, beautiful thing, there's companies like IHS, right? Our Polka company that used to be, and now it's IHS, and then it became S&P. What do? Well, they have registration data. They can get that VIN number and reverse it and give that dealer, because it's a dealer, give that dealer that information. Now you can prospect that customer to come to your store because you didn't lose it to another dealership. What about the service end? Right? You didn't lose that vehicle to that. So now you have something that is actually great. Okay. Now, having the VIN retention and the private seller combined as a general manager, my retention, it says 50%. Oh, but let's look how many private sellers, how many customers that you can control sold their cars privately. And why is that number keep going up? Does that mean that we're looking at the trade-in so carefully and so worried about our wholesale losses that it's costing us deals?
Ooh.
Does that mean we have really changed the way we're doing things because of market conditions, because of being fear, of being scared, of being so good at the data and being so good at this that we're actually costing ourselves money? Because if you have 10,000 in wholesale losses and made 100,000 is not a good number. But if you have 10,000 in wholesale losses and you made $1 million, now you're talking. Okay? Everything is metrics. This report is educating the dealer, the manager, and now you can bring that report into your sales meeting. What are you doing in that? You're probably one of the best in training, but you have a training module, train the trainer. That's what you're good at. The best I've seen. One of your qualities is going into a dealership and training somebody to carry the ball when you walk away. That's why when you were at Ford, your CPO was top notch, because you always pick that. That's a talent that not a lot of people have.
Thank you.
Now you walk away, you have somebody that's listening to you, and you may be coaching him or not or whatever, but you got him set up and train the trainer. Wow. Now, what does this report? It adds tremendous value. That's one of the things with the VIN retention. It tells you how many customers you kept, how many customers you lost. Is it the private seller network that is where your problem is? And if it is so, you still got a problem. Are you losing more customers because you're so close with the numbers? With a platform like Vioto, that's great. But now people are running scared because you're inspecting now the sales managers.
Ooh.
Okay, are you that worried? Now you got a problem. You got Vioto out there that's the police dog of your used car managers, and that's okay. It's a great product. Cox Automotive, top notch. I live and say Cox is the best that there is. But where's the problem? The sales manager, the dealer. It's just a guideline, guys. If we lose, we lose. If we win, we win. You can't not lose but not make no money.
No, you're exactly right. And I believe you have a short little video that's going to
Yes,
capitalize everything that you just said. So let's take a look at that.
Okay, hold on.
So we all know it's commonplace in the auto industry that customers will come and then they go. But why? Was it a better price? Did they go with a different make? Is it a sales training issue? Maybe it's a marketing problem. And if you knew why, could you take back a portion of that business? First things first, you need data. And Shop Smart Autos for Dealers has your solution, the VIN Retention Report. Our VIN Retention Report can give you the inside scoop on VINs you held onto and the VINs you lost. But that's not all. What if you could know where the customers and your VINs ended up? For example, if Mrs. Smith purchased a vehicle from you 2 years ago and traded that vehicle in a mile away for the same make but a newer model, why didn't she come back to you? Now with that data, you can reach out. You can target her with a service deal that brings her back into your dealership and gives her the stellar experience she's looking for, while potentially flipping her back to your sales floor for a deal she never knew she could get. That's just one way our VIN Retention Report can help. So take 15 minutes with us today, and we'll show you how the power of data can increase your ROI with the Shop Smart Autos for Dealers VIN Retention Report. Set up your appointment today.
Okay, Richie, that was an outstanding little report there. I hope everybody got something out of it. To me, I see three areas. You talked and then you showed us how to assess what's going on as a leader in your dealership, how to address that by bringing your team members of importance together, and how do we move forward? And my key thing for this whole thing is lowering the turn. So anything else that you want to add to that when it comes to assessment or addressing or moving forward with it, Rich?
Well, Brendan, one of the things that I learned in the car business is about inspection. Inspect and inspect. Don't expect your people to perform. Inspect them. Because nobody's going to perform. I don't even perform if my team doesn't inspect me. Okay?
Yes.
I partner up with a company that's very big and it's tremendous product, which is called ChatterSpot. ChatterSpot does this. I give them the VIN retention report. Now I'm going to give you the other report. 1 minute.
Okay.
Brandon, you see that report? It shows you how many customers you kept and how many customers you lost. It gives you all their VIN number. Now, ChatterSpot, Auto Alert, Automotive Masterminds, they all go to your DMS and do marketing for you. There's something called dirty data. They're marketing people that you just lost 6 months ago. Okay, what does ChatterSpot do? They do that same marketing, and they have one of the best results that you've ever seen, ever. So dealers, why spend all this money on Google and on Facebook and not marketing your own data? So we have a product, but it's more than that. We clean up your DMS, never get rid of those customers, but they're not active. Whether it's in service or in sales, you're using your platform as a community platform. Okay, just think about that. Right. Reaching out to your customers to get them back in the door. This is why third-party lead generation is gone, guys. Gone. Take it from a guy like me. 4 years with ShopSmart. I know it's gone. This is the new way.
If I'm hearing you right, we have important desk managers looking at the dealer management system, but they have so many third-party vendors affixed to it that's not helping them out, because I now need to lower this screen to see the information on this screen. And I still got sales team members that are coming to me with heat cases. Right. We need to be looking at our own data. So from the desk manager, and you talked about the great John Fairchild, if we look at the fixed operations part of it, how can your information improve on turn? Now, here's what I'll say to set it up. I hate when I go to a store and here's the GM or GSM. They're having a meeting with the sales team about the importance of the vehicles that they've just got in from a customer. Now we need to go through the turn process. So I'm glad they're going to talk about doing an inventory walk. But what happens? Now we start talking about human capital issues, HR issues, and we never stay on focus, and it throws the whole team off. On the service side, there's so many fixed operations and service managers that will have maybe a lane manager in there for the technicians, but they don't include the service BDC manager or any team member. All of them are important, I think, when it comes to this turn. What do you say about that?
It's a very important process. I take in a car on a trade. That car goes up the hill. When is that car getting front line ready? That's an issue.
A big issue.
Front line ready when 72 hours, 48 or 60. It's going to be 72 hours, Richie Bello. Okay, great. It's up in 72 hours. Richie Bello has a customer, meets, greets, does all this, sells the car, sold sticker, puts it up on the hill. Okay. Oh, okay. Now that car's in finance. It's got hair on it. Nobody addresses that. You go every day to looking at the sheet, how many cars are approved, how many that, why isn't this car going out for delivery? Oh, okay. Now that's the heat sheet, but it's more important. It's called save a deal. It's called save a deal every day. Save a deal.
Oh,
how many deals you got approved? And why are they pending? Because that's when cars start aging. Cars don't start aging on that 72 hour that it hits the front line, guys. Cars start aging because they have a mind deal in their head that's never going to get delivered. Those cars sit there 20, 30 days. Oh, 20 or 30 days. Could you imagine? That's an issue. Nobody's addressing that.
So once again, if I'm hearing you right, and thank you, Richie, because you're right on topic. As coaches, once again, let's take off these power position hats of GM, GS. Right. As coaches trying to lead our teams on the front or the back, we have to care.
Exactly.
We have to care about the process we put in place that needs to be done daily. That's what I heard you come out of your mouth.
Exactly. And the analytical on that part is this. Let's hire the service department because the service manager is not doing the job. We're looking at the analytic and he's taking 72 hours and he went into 5 days. And now they start hammering him instead of saying, let me go. Me, what I would do, I'd go right to the finance office and I says, run me a list right now of how many cars we've had pending that got delivered and ones that didn't get delivered and tack in the days of it. And you would be surprised, Mr. Dealer, where your problem is.
Yes. Yes. That's where the coaching is important to bring down those days based on your processes. And what really appalls me, and I know you see it, when it comes to detailing, vehicles can be stuck in detailing because we don't have the right people who are communicating Do we take the picture first to get it up on the website? Do we invest in the money to get it done? And now the customer's looking at nothing on the website, but it'll be up here soon. We need to be communicating, and that's where that coaching is. That's what I got out of what you just told me.
Exactly.
That's when you can cash in.
That's exactly right. Because you got to first identify where the problem is to come up with a solution. The problem is not on that turn, bringing it from the back to the front. The problem is when they take the deal, nobody's putting attention to it. We're putting more attention. Why? Because it's easy to blame a service manager. It's so much easier to do that than to say, let's identify. Once you stop blaming people and identifying where you have the problems, you grow consistently. Your team grows consistently. You know, Brandon, I had a lot of failures in my life, okay? But I know why they were failures. They were failures because of me. Nobody else, me. I'm accepting that I made a lot of mistakes. That's good. That's good because I've learned, and I'm going to continue making mistakes. Because you know why? I had a coach at one time in my younger years. His name is Dr. John. We all worked together at Polk. And I was in and out in this, that. He told me, Richie, you make mistakes, lots of them. That's good because you're giving it your best effort. There's people on the team that never make a mistake. I know, Richie, that they're not giving it their best effort. That goes back to that same thing about you're losing lead, or you're losing the vid retention to private seller and this and that. Why? Because are you losing deals because you're not stepping up, because you're not giving it the effort? You're looking at this machine, a Viola, which is great, and boom, boom, boom. You're not looking at the car. See, when I look at a car, I don't need any of that stuff. You know what I look at the car? What can I get for that car? Retail. That's what I'm looking for. What could I get for that car? I could get $20,000 for that car. I want to make $5,000, $15,000. How much would that car be to get Frontline ready? Let me do a walk around now. It needs 2 tires. It needs a really good detail. Oh, wait a minute. The bumper. It's got a heavy scratch. Could that get fixed, or do I need to replace that? Oh, wait another second. Look at the bumper in the front. It's got a crack in it. That's a replacement. Now, I want to make $5,000. We're at 15. What's the RO going to be? Figure 1,200, 1,300. How many hours do you think I got? I got 2.5 here, 3.5 there, 7.5. What is the retail that the service charges me? How much in parts do I have? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I don't care what that machine tells me. I know what I can get for my car. I know what I can sell it for. Is it really 100% retail piece, or is it borderline? Nobody's doing that no more. Everybody's doing this. Hold on.
No, you're exactly
Hold
right.
on. Blah, 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 blah. And now they come up with a number.
No.
And letting the machines dictate to us. Now I'm a dealer in that marketplace. I'm stealing that deal from that guy all day.
Everything that you said, Richie, I would just capitalize by saying, and thank you for talking about Dr. John, because it showed me that every employee is important. That's what we need to get these managers to understand. Every employee, if we do this process right, we can create campaigns to tell our story in our market area. And if we find a way to just coach our people on a consistent basis, doesn't have to be long, let's just coach them and monitor them. And like you said, if that is done on a consistent basis, we'll have a stronger team, whether it's in the front or whether it's in the back of the house.
You're right. Every employee counts. And the reason that word came up, one of the reasons, Dr. John's got a module since the Nicholson Group. I believe it was 93 or 92. And that same module he did went to Reynolds and Reynolds when Reynolds and Reynolds bought the Nicholson Group, right? And then Reynolds and Reynolds, Dr. John kept that through his company. And then Dr. John did the same deal with R.O. Polk and Company.
Gotcha.
That was so good. But really what was so good about it was, well, every employee counts, because without employee retention, you're never going to retain your customers, guys. Hello. Okay. Now we have today, every customer counts.
Love it. Love it.
Why? Why does every customer count? Because a customer that's your customer is going to go back there, and buy another car.
Mm-hmm.
If you take care of them right.
You hit it on the head. So dealers, fixed operation people, Richie's giving you a lot. Whether you do training on the outside, just like John Fairchild, he's an outstanding fixed trainer, or whether you have a trainer that's in-house like myself, and we make sure that every employee is involved with the success of the total dealership. And how do we do that? We create coaching sessions that are consistent, upbeat, motivational. We create campaigns that enter into the community as our brand. The more you do that, the people will hear. And that's just what Richie was talking about.
And I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay.
Brandon, because I just put something on there. Care, coach, and cash in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, nobody cares how much you know till they know how much you care.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That mantra will work every day of the week.
Every time, correct. Now you got cash in. What does cash in mean? It means you're going to make profit, you're going to gross, but cash in has a lot of reasons why it's cash in. You're increasing the value of your organization. Mm-hmm. You're building tremendous morale. Mm-hmm. Morale. Key thing is morale. Why is that important? How do you do that? When your salespeople see how many customers you're retaining, they're going to prospect people to come in. Yes. Salespeople hardly ever bring in somebody that they know to buy from you. Why? They're telling you quietly, we don't agree with the way you're doing business. When you have a dealership that a salesman brings in a minimum of 3 to 5 customers that he knows in that marketplace, now you got something. Yeah. When your office manager brings in customers that are her friends to buy, now you got something. When the service manager brings his brother and his best friend that he grew up with, now you got a good company.
Excellent. So
nobody brings in customers when they have a problem, and now your retention increases. Why? Because that controller, her best friend that grew up with her, comes in. She's going to come in, buy that car. She's going to keep coming to you. But more important than that, her friends and family are going to buy a car too.
You hit it on the head. So if I'm hearing what you're telling these managers out here, if we acknowledge our employees who go that extra mile to tell our story in the community, instead of let's cut their pay plan, let's not give anybody any bonuses for bringing people in. So you're right on the right thing there. So Richie, as we get to the end, what's the one thing that you want these managers to walk away with?
I wanted to walk away with the VIN retention, increase your morale because you're retaining more customers. So everybody in that dealership is going to do that. Not only that, okay? Increase your customer satisfaction, because the more you retain, the better your CSI is, because they're doing business with you repeatedly. Oh, okay. Your turn is better because you're identifying what cars are selling and not. And let me talk to you about the marketplace report. I have a marketplace report. I'm going to do this, Brandon. Your dealership, I'm going to do one for you. So you have it, the marketplace report. And I know the type of dealership you have, and I'm going to tell you why I know, okay? That whole dealership, I can analyze Jim Ellis, let's say a Honda store example. I don't know if he's got a Honda or not, but let's say Honda store, right? I can analyze that whole marketplace in a 20-mile radius and tell you what they're selling and what they're not. Your competitor has a 25-day average on the Civic, and you're at 60 days. And now he's selling, his pricing is cheaper than yours. Of course it is, because he's going to the auction with fresh piece.
Yes.
So, Brandon, I know what your problem is already.
Very good.
And you know what your problem is too, Mr. Brandon. What you got to do?
No.
You got to turn that inventory much faster than you're turning it and price it right.
Boom. I love it. Now, I know you're busy. The rest of the world should know how busy you are. So I just want to thank you for giving up some of your time to talk about some of the little nuggets there, because you gave a lot about how the inventory turn can be done at the store. So, Richie, any parting words for the folks?
Brandon, I'm busy, but I'm never busy to help others, and I'm never busy for our industry because I love it, and I'm never busy for the newcomers that are coming to get fully educated. It's my pleasure. I'm humble enough that you tell me that, but I know that I'm really not anything. You know why, Brandon? Who it is I'm just a messenger. I give you the information. Being a messenger, we're all messengers from the mighty powers. The whole thing is send out the message, help mankind, and do the right thing. And you want to know something? You feel very confident and very motivated. Be a man of peace. How you become a man of peace is by becoming a man of faith. Thank you, Brandon, so much, and God bless you.
Have a great day, Richie. I hope you got something out of it. Play it back again. Play it to the rest of your managers in your next meeting, at least a portion of it. Have a great day.
Thank you, Brandon. Bye-bye.